people coming in, but I do want to keep us on time because I know we all have other things. So let's get moving on this one. Let me welcome you all to this third workshop on the Cardinal Foundation Seminar, where we have worked through what is a seminar, what can we expect from our students, and in this program, we're going to be talking about actual syllabus development with our guest presenter, Dr. Jessamyn Neuhaus from the Center for Teaching Excellence. Unless anybody objects, I'll just turn it over to Jessamyn.
I don't like that caveat. That opens up the door. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you so much for being here today. It's really nice to be Zooming with you. You know, like everybody in higher education, I've spent this past year trying to navigate the new landscape. It can be overwhelming. It can be scary. It can be exhausting. Zoom fatigue is absolutely real. Staring at each other, looking deeply into your eyes the way I've only done with my significant other. And most of the days I don't even want to do that with him. So it's tiring, I know. So I know everybody is right on the edge of real burnout. The fact that you're here today, I just really can't give you enough praise and admiration. You're really going above and beyond at a time when people are super tired for student success. So just to start, I just want to make sure everybody knows, a lot of you know me personally, and if you don't, I hope you've heard the CTE and me. I'm not here to chastise you or lecture you. I'm really here to support and encourage. And the main goal today is to draw on your wisdom of practice. The big chunk of our time today is going to be brainstorming and drawing on what you already know and are already doing really, really well. But we'll start with just a quick recap of some quote unquote best practices, just kind of generally agreed upon things that almost everybody I'm sure is already doing or familiar with. I'm going to throw out some ideas, again, some of which you may well already be doing or have heard of, but ways to make your syllabus a little bit more dynamic and evolving. And then finally, like I said, the majority of our time is really going to be sharing ideas. We'll do that in small breakout rooms. Okay, so just some overall best practices for syllabus. Here is my number one piece of advice. And I know I just said I'm not here to chastise you or lecture you, but I know a few of you may feel personally attacked when I say you cannot procrastinate on your syllabus. You just can't. A syllabus takes a lot of time. An effective one takes a lot of time to design, to craft, to create. You really, really, really can't wait till the last minute. So if you hear me say nothing else today, hear me say that. Schedule out time to create your syllabus. So some general must-haves. The student learning outcomes, which you will have handed to you for the Cardinal Foundation Seminar, but they're always a summary of what students will be able to do better at the end of class and how that increased ability will be measured and assessed. They don't have to be complicated. They shouldn't be just a summary of things, assignments or assessment mechanisms or subjects, but the actual specific things the students are going to be able to do. The summary of the grades, always important, even if you're using, like I'm using a little bit of ungrading or contract grading or specifications grading, no matter how you're doing it, some summary of grades, students see them as really important. So it's important that's as clear as possible. All the contact information and very clear explanation of that. So just saying office hours isn't sufficient, especially first year students. And first-gen students won't necessarily know what office hours means. In fact, a lot of students just across the board don't really understand the purpose of office hours. So I'm trying out terms like student assistance hours. These are the hours I'm assisting students. And, oh, I should have asked Wendy, could you monitor the chat for me? Because when I have my slides up, it's hard for me to check. So I should have said, if you need me to stop, if there's a question or something I need to respond to, please just.
That was just
put it
Ken
in the
being
chat.
witty, so.
I know you make me miss the chat. It's my favorite part of Zoom, but I'll check it out when you're in your breakout rooms. Oh, and another term I've been trying for my online class is my communication hours. So these are the times every week we'll be answering your emails. I'll be online, my communication hours. Of course, the schedule and the due dates, that's very important in Moodle as well, since it makes that calendar of reminders for students when things are coming due. And a lot of students really, really, really rely on that. And inclusive language and images, that would also include your own diversity and inclusion policy. So those are just some basic, here's what your syllabus needs to have. Just a reminder, these are the learning outcomes. Wendy, just double checking, these are the Foundation Seminar learning outcomes, correct?
Yes, and they're
Okay.
the correct ones. Sometimes I put out the wrong ones, but these are the right ones.
Okay, so these will have a prominent role on your syllabus. And I've really found that students respond just a little, if you just do a little dash of jargon, as long as you use it all the time. So I talk about the class learning outcomes all the time, and just about right about this time of the semester, mid-semester, students start saying them back to me. Oh, the student learning outcome, the student learning outcome. So front and center on your syllabus and refer to them throughout. So those are the basic informational things. But as a document, your syllabus needs to welcome students to the class. We think of them as a kind of legalistic document, but especially, I mean, any class, but especially this class, we want students to immediately feel they are welcome and included in this class, that they're joining the class and there's a place for them there. So thinking about our syllabus, not just as an informational document, but what it can communicate. And interestingly, this might seem like a contradiction, but the first thing I'm going to say about communication in the syllabus is actually not to put it at the center of your first class meeting. This is a little bit different if you're asynchronous or online, but any first meeting with your students should not be spent reading the syllabus. First of all, it doesn't work. Have you ever read the syllabus the first day of class and then magically everybody knew everything that was on it? No. Secondly, it's so expected that students will start tuning it out the second you go into it. And third, it's not the best way to communicate your passion for the subject, your enthusiasm for the class. You don't have to be a cheerleader. You don't have to be someone you're not, but you need to show students the very first day, this is going to be a great experience and you're going to learn a lot. The first thing I say to students in my face-to-face classes is, the most important thing you need to know about me is that I love teaching. And I've had students repeat that. I don't say it again, but I've had students repeat that on my evaluations, because that first, like literally 10 seconds is the most closely observed you're going to be. So don't waste it. It's too valuable real estate to waste it looking at your syllabus, but you can make the syllabus seem desirable. Sometimes I've had students, they have to come to my office to get it. This was when it was totally face-to-face and I hadn't put it on Moodle yet. But in some way, use that valuable real estate at the beginning of the semester. Then, when you want to be sure that they're reading it and they're understanding it, you can check their understanding with a low-stakes syllabus quiz or scavenger hunt. There are some links to those kinds of descriptions of those activities on the CTE Moodle site. There's a new section I just added this week on the Cardinal Core, and there's some syllabus resources there. And then finally, this is an easy one, but it's easy to forget that the more you talk about the syllabus, the more you actually spend a little time referring to it, using class time even to say, let's look at the syllabus. The more students will then start referring regularly to it. I want to really caution you, we've all been tempted. I mean, don't lie, you've been tempted to say it's on the syllabus. As soon as the student asks a question and the answer, like on page 2, this is the answer. And they're like, what do we do with such and such? And you're tempted, you know, to put on the t-shirt, it's on the syllabus. I have really reframed that as an opportunity. This was actually advice from my mother, who was a high school teacher for many years. And she said, when a student asks an easy question that should be easy for them to understand, it's possible they don't know the answer. It's also possible that they're just trying in a low stakes way to interact with you, to build some rapport with you. So I see it as an opportunity. I don't get huffy, what, they didn't read every word of my perfect syllabus. I take it as an opportunity to have a conversation with a student, and it's about something I love, my syllabus, and I have an opportunity to communicate with them. So take the opportunity. And also, it's just made me happier. It lowers my stress. I don't get all pissy when they haven't read the syllabus, every perfect word. It's an opportunity to communicate. Okay, so the next thing, I just want to give this a shot. I don't know if everybody has used it, but the Annotate tool in Zoom, can I just see a show of hands if you have used this before? The Annotate tool? Is that nobody? Oh my, all right. Okay, this is gonna be fun. All right, so what, Wendy?
I think 2 people raised their hands.
Oh, okay, I missed them. Awesome. All right, so you be my helpers too. Okay, so this is what you're looking for, this Annotate tool in Zoom. If you hover over, mine is at the top, it might be at the bottom, but you hover so you get this bar, this toolbar, and you click on Annotate. And this will give you the ability to actually edit and add to the Zoom slide. And if you click on stamp, so somebody show me that you can click on stamp. Is it working? What's happening?
I can't find the bar.
Wouldn't
It's
it only be if we were sharing our own screen, or no?
no, there you go. Ken did it.
Got it.
Good. Okay, you can keep looking for that because I'm going to
Got
go
it.
to the next slide. Thank you. All right, I'm going to.
No, my scribbles are left.
All right, I'm clearing everything. So now using the stamp under Annotate, Joanne, I see you have draw. That's good, but using the stamp Annotate tool, stamp all that apply to your current syllabus preparation. So these statements, waiting at the last minute, you use images, do you reread the syllabus in class, syllabus quiz, welcoming tone, or weighed down with legalese because you've been burned by students and you're looking to cover your butt in your syllabus. Just take a couple minutes. I'm gonna quick read the chat. Oh, Shauna, you're right. It may be that iPad doesn't have it. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure, but that's a good point. And sometimes Chromebook has some weird. Oh, I like the arrow. Who did this little blue arrow? Is that a stamp? Oh yeah, it is. Nice.
I did.
I think I did that. I wasn't sure.
I like it. I haven't used it before. I like that one. Okay, so I see a range. I'm seeing a range. I see nobody's copying to waiting to the last minute. But that's maybe because you're all super advanced. Syllabus quiz. I've tried a variety. I have to work on it though. Wendy, I'd be interested to see yours, what you do for that. Good, a few images. Good. Okay, good. Nice.
I found a way around it.
Oh, Shauna, how did you like your pen stylus?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can use pen arrow shaped text color eraser. So it's a little
Okay.
different.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to clear our drawings. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that little Zoom. Little Zoom activity. Okay, so we're going to now cover a few things that make a syllabus more of a dynamic document, in-process document. And I'm going to start with this visual that I'm sure you've seen some version of it, but just as a reminder and thinking about how we might apply this to syllabus, to our syllabi as well. If our syllabus is equity-minded, we want all our students to be able to see that whole soccer field. The soccer field is our beautiful, wonderful subject and the whole class as we've laid it out in our syllabus. So an equity-minded, or even better, justice aware syllabus will ensure that everything we do, everything we communicate, everything we include in the syllabus has this in mind. Access for everybody, and it increases everybody's ability to fully participate in the class and makes your syllabus more of a dynamic document. So just some other ideas for, it's just a partial list, but some other ideas for making an equity-minded and dynamic syllabus. One that I really had to train myself in is get away from that passive voice or third person. Your assignment will be graded. Well, no, I will grade your assignment. I'm going to own that. I also constantly refer to our class, trying to build in some personal responsibility and inclusivity by saying it's our class. We are in this together. That also goes with the encouraging and welcoming language. Again, I'm not talking about dumbing down your content or not being the big egg-headed intellectuals that I know you are, Don. But welcoming and encouraging, making students feel like this is so cool, my subject. I'm so excited to be teaching it. We're going to have a lot of fun doing this. Similarly, that legalistic language conveying mistrust of students. And I don't want to suggest that you can magically remove all cheating or dishonesty just with your syllabus language. But there is research to suggest, and also just people's wisdom of experience that has been passed on to me, that starting from a place of and conveying with your syllabus that I trust students can contribute to a class culture of academic honesty. And again, it removes a little bit of your stress and tension. If you try to frame your syllabus less as a legalistic document to cover every terrible thing a student might do, and more of a, this is our starting point. I trust that you want to learn. I trust that you want to succeed. Similarly, demonstrating awareness of learner individuality. I'm not going to say, oh my God, I just blanked the phrase because I hate it so much. The learner, type of learner, visual learner. That's nonsense. That doesn't exist. Everybody can learn in all kinds of different ways. We have preferences, things we enjoy more than others, but learner individuality and needs and life circumstances. Again, I don't mean dumbing your content down or putting into place policies that you are not comfortable with, but conveying to students that you understand, even saying something like for me, socially awkward, and often I don't communicate that clearly because I'm so introverted. It's hard for me to interact with other humans. Just saying something like, I understand that you will encounter obstacles this semester. So here are some things that I have done to help you navigate those obstacles, such as the next bullet point says, such as the oops token, where something goes wrong, you really messed up, you missed a big important deadline, you can use your one-time oops token and submit it late. Just let me know what's going on. Or I often talk about how this class, it's a freeway, but there's lots of on-ramps. So you accidentally got sidetracked, there's an on-ramp down the road. Collaboration, co-creation. I haven't done this too much myself. I've done it on individual assignments, but not on the syllabus yet, being a bit of a control freak, and it's hard for me to let go of that. But there's some good resources on the Moodle site for the for co-creation or collaboration with students. The liquid syllabus, the idea that together with your students, you can figure out some things. I just saw on Twitter today, someone who leaves a few blank weeks more towards the end, and at midpoint confers with students what are topics you want to address more fully, and then provides the readings and assignments for that. At the very least, you might try an annotated syllabus. So that's, you provide the whole syllabus, but especially online or in Zoom, it's easy to do, where have small groups of students review the syllabus together and make little notes, things that aren't clear, or this is a really important deadline, or I have to be sure to do this and this before this, annotating it that way. And you could follow it. If you do it in a Google Doc, you could follow and see what their questions are. This is an option, visually engaging, lots of different ways to do that. You could do more like an infographic if you're interested, if you've got that artistic flair. Even just including a few illustrations definitely conveys some interest in raising student attention. And finally, with the equity-minded piece, including clear information on your syllabus about how students can access and utilize campus resources, such as the, oh my gosh, John, I'm blanking on the center's name. Sean Rice's center, hub, the hub, or the food shelf, something like that. Those would be campus resources. So if you think about the syllabus as this more dynamic document, and as kind of creating conditions for student success by communicating clearly, by emphasizing the role of community and connections, especially in the next few semesters when students are going to be just so parched for any amount of connection and to feel like they belong on campus, yet may also, like all of us, have trouble adjusting to these lightning fast switcheroos. Anything you can do in the syllabus to convey your enthusiasm for the subject, for learning, for ways that students can connect, for being approachable, for building rapport, those will all help set the stage for student success. Before we go on to the brainstorming part, I just want to pause for a minute and just give you maybe 2 minutes. You can do a quick note review, or let me know if there's a slide you'd like me to go back to, or if there's any questions I can answer. Let's just take about 2 minutes.
Jessamyn, Mary
Yeah.
had a question about, does the school provide a page with links to commonly used campus resources?
No, they do not. But
Joanne's given us a thumbs up. I'm not sure what that means.
she's good to go. However,
I'm not sure I know about all of them.
what I can do is put on the, I collected for my syllabus this semester a pretty a concise, but I think pretty good list of those resources. So Mary, Mary, did you ask the question?
Yes.
Okay, so I will add it
Title
to,
IX.
I'll add it to the CTE Moodle site in the Cardinal Core section.
Yeah.
And then you can just cut and paste it. Because you're right, they're sort of scattered over the website. And if you
They
don't
are.
know where to look,
Right.
it can be a little overwhelming. So I'll share mine. And then as I get other ones, I'll post those as well. Because there's lots of different ways you might convey that to students. But I'll post the one that I did.
You could even make up like a little tabular display as a Moodle
Yeah.
module that people could just download and drop
Yeah.
right on their course pages.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Elizabeth, would you like to share what, you said you had a couple quick answers to that too?
Couple quick answers. I don't have the link right now, but the Enrollment and Student Success Division, somewhere in maybe Residence Life and Community Living, has one of commonly consulted resources.
Mm.
And I just don't have that now. I wasn't prepared for that. But the other thing, it's not as easy as it seems, because it's kind of like putting together a wedding guest list. Who do you include and who do you not include? Because if you choose to include certain places, that means you're excluding the needs of others.
True.
So, but the Enrollment Student Success, or sort of what was formerly Student Affairs, had a good list.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'll look for that too. And again, just to emphasize that it's also just important in terms of what you're communicating as much as the actual link. So yeah, it's great if a student needs a resource and can use that link. But as far as your syllabus and setting the stage for student success, what you communicate by including that in your syllabus is, I am aware that students face challenges and obstacles. I'm aware that you may need the health center, that you may benefit from the resources through Hub. It's demonstrating that you are aware of individual learners' life circumstances. Okay, so let's go to brainstorming. So just a reminder again, that these are our learning outcomes. I want to have those handy. And what I'd like to do in our breakout room discussion is have you, now I'm going to draw on your wisdom. And what are the three, if you have a few more, that's fine, of course, but what would you say are the three most important things that we need to communicate to Cardinal Foundation Seminar students in our syllabus coming in for their first semester? And then what's kind of specific language, formatting, or other syllabus creation activities could help communicate those things? To increase the takeaway value, I have created a Google slideshow for breakout rooms to take notes on. And I think we're a small enough group. We should all be able to access it. I wasn't sure if we were going to run out of room, but could someone just check or maybe put the URL in the chat? So make sure you can access that Google slideshow. Okay, good. Connie, you were able to. Yes, okay. I think that's what the little stars do. So just to recap, these were our goals today, looking at best practices, thinking about the syllabus as a dynamic document, and then drawing on the massive brain trust that we have here for what kinds of things we want to communicate specifically to CFS students and how the syllabus might do that. Make sure you check out what your other breakout rooms came up with. And like I said, I have added a section about Cardinal Core to the CTE Moodle site. And there's a bunch of other resources there There's a big section on teaching and learning with Zoom, which is rising to the top of issues faculty are dealing with. Some online teaching and learning, some events, some upcoming events this semester that everybody is, of course, welcome to attend. Hope to see some people there. And if you have time, if you wouldn't mind giving me a little bit of feedback, this is the Google form feedback for the workshop, TEL and CTE workshop is just tinyurl.com/WKShopFeed. And I do have time. Were there any specific questions or comments, or anybody want to, we have just a few minutes left, but we have time for questions.
Can I throw something in,
Yeah.
Jessamyn?
Yes, of course.
I have just added a discussion forum to the Cardinal Core Moodle site specifically for Foundation Seminar instructors. So as you come up with questions or ideas or want to bounce something off someone,
Perfect.
certainly that forum is an option. This is the last of my so far planned workshops for the Foundation Seminar. I'm hoping over the summer to be able to have some chances for us to gather either virtually or for realsies and swap some syllabi and just kind of bounce ideas off each other as we get closer to the fall.